Russo Italiano sponsors Boxing Bros UK.
I don't know if it's undisputed or not, if they had to vacate any titles, but it's undisputed to us. Who is the best in the light heavyweight division? Undisputed top dog, big kahuna. Who is it? The rematching. Last time it was BETERBIEV. So who do you think it's going to be this time? How do you think the fight's going to go?
Well, the Terminator versus the Machine 2, eh?
Yes.
Yeah. And it is a little bit like Terminator 2. The film, isn't it? One of my favourite films of all time is Arnie being chased by the Liquid Man, whatever it was called, which is BIVOL.
The T2.
I suppose you could say the Liquid guy was BETERBIEV and BIVOL was Schwarzenegger, I suppose. You could say that.
Yeah, because he is trying everything he can to survive.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's kind of got that, and that's the title I've kind of we're going to go with on this video. You know, a lot of people, bit of controversy around the first fight. You had a lot of people whinging that perhaps it was a BIVOL fight. Look, I think there was only 2 rounds. If it had been 2 rounds either way, I don't think I'd have complained too much. I do think it was close, and it is what you like. Who's going to make that? I mean, BIVOL's got to make. Well, I say got to. In this fight, has he got to make some more adjustments, Chris BIVOL? Has he got to try and be a bit more aggressive? The thing is, I think for BIVOL to win in this one, because you know in the later rounds in the first fight, his volume began to slow down a little bit. I think the pressure from BETERBIEV was beginning to show. I think he's got to somehow, you know, increase the output that he had early in the first fight throughout the whole 12 rounds, unless he's stopped by BETERBIEV. I do think BIVOL will be a little bit better this time. Oh, Chris has run off.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just plugging something in. I'm here. So what?
Right.
So is that what you think? He's just got to try and increase his output a bit more.
I think it's I mean, it's such a difficult one because BETERBIEV is just such a difficult fighter. The pressure he puts you under, you know, and you could see where BIVOL was being marked up, and that was a lot of the time that because he was hitting him on the guard, and he's sort of like, you know, yeah, and I just think. I mean, I had BIVOL for the first one, didn't I? I sort of put my neck on the line and thought BIVOL might get a points decision. But I think BETERBIEV knows he can hurt BIVOL a little bit. I think he might go in, you know, with confidence that you know, because if BETERBIEV, and I think what he might do, I think he might be that little bit more, even more aggressive. I see this pretty much going how the first one went. I think BETERBIEV will get a points decision. I don't think he'll stop BIVOL. I mean, BIVOL's so good defensively. Yeah, I'll try to make a case for BIVOL in this second fight, Chris, but my gut's telling me BETERBIEV will get the job done again. But I think it'll be really close again. Yeah,
same. I think. Are you done or?
Yeah, for the time being, yeah.
I think, like you say, everyone was crying, robbery and all that, which it wasn't. It was a really close fight. It's what you like. Like, for me, I had BETERBIEV. I picked BETERBIEV because he's like, at the moment, BETERBIEV, I'd probably say active fighter, he's like, him and Usyk are probably my favourite active fighters. Like the elite ones, and I'd probably say BETERBIEV is my favorite, just because Duck's no smoke, and he's all out war, and he's just like a Trojan, and I just love his style, his whole attitude, everything about him, top fighter, top guy, like as a fighter, fighting personality, and I just think that like there's not much. the adjustments, Bivol can't really make any more adjustments. Like you say, more output, he's got to pace himself through the rounds because that's what fucked him up in the later stages. Because BETERBIEV, he has the same pace all the way through. He doesn't slow down. He just carries on. And in fact, it looked like he was the younger, fresher man, even though he's like nearly 10 years older than Bivol in the later stages. And I think that's what probably swayed it. Like, you've got this young boxer mover,
yeah,
and he's getting smacked around the ring in the last few rounds. Yeah, they weren't all clean, but sometimes it's like aggression and like effective aggression. So BETERBIEV's whacking him in the arms so hard that he's fucking punching himself and scratching his own face. So even though his punches are not landing clean, they're still effective in hurting his opponent. More than when Bivol was landing his punches and hitting BETERBIEV on the gloves, they were bouncing off him. They had no effect. They were just bouncing off the gloves. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you take it down to not much landed clean, whose punches had more of an effect on the opponent, you have to say BETERBIEV. And I just think, but if Bivol won that fight, I'm not going to say robbery. I'm going to say, I thought BETERBIEV won, but it was close. And I think it's probably going to be the same again. But I think BETERBIEV, he could have gone to the body a lot more. And his corner was screaming at him, body, 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 body. And he wasn't, and he was going to the body a little bit, but not as much as he should. And I think if BETERBIEV makes that little adjustment and tries to start a little bit quicker, don't let Bivol nick the first 3 rounds like he did. Well, the first 2 rounds, because round 3, fucking
headhunting.
But I'm going for BETERBIEV for the win, KO, late rounds, and he's going to retire, knocking out every man who's ever stepped in the ring with him. That's what he's going to. That's what he's going to retire.
That would be a great way to go out. I think where I'm at with this, right, and kind of analysing the first fight, Bivol had to do an awful lot to get the success he had. He didn't have, and we know he's not a massive puncher, Bivol, but he couldn't do enough to keep BETERBIEV off him for long enough, because there were moments, because Bivol's got a great judge of distance, and he, slapping BETERBIEV up a bit, coming out of range. But he just had to do that consistently and relentlessly, and BETERBIEV's respect. But in terms of power, in terms of that ability to hurt BETERBIEV, I just don't think, if you're on Bivol's team and you're working with a strategy, why are you going to have a master boxer mover that's his strong feet a bit more in the centre of the ring, and that's tried to go toe-to-toe with him? Because that would be disastrous. That would be playing into Bivol has to do what he did in the first fight, but better. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's for 12 rounds or for as long as it lasts. BETERBIEV, I think he can increase his who's a mover down, who's a very kind of wonderful boxer up Bivol, slow him down a little bit. And he only has to land a couple of times. Bivol's got a decent chin. So I think I'm kind of with you on it. Bivol in this fight has got to do everything he did in the first fight, but more of it and better in order to win. And I just don't know whether I'm going with a unanimous decision this time for BETERBIEV. That's where I might change my mind again, but I'll convict with that, Chris.
Okay, so you're going unanimous decision, BETERBIEV. I am going BETERBIEV for the KO, knocked out every man he's been in the ring with, late stoppage, BETERBIEV. Yeah, I just think I think he's going to make that adjustment, go to the body a little bit more, get a bit active sooner, and then BETERBIEV is going to have the nervous energy, knowing he's got to be the same as before, but better. And he thought he won last fight, so he thought he won, and he's got to try and be better, because you ain't going to knock BETERBIEV out. He ain't got a hope in hell in doing that. So
yeah.
if he tries to go for a knockout, he's going to get himself knocked out. So I just think, yeah, BETERBIEV all the way. Any final thoughts?
No, I think absolutely can't wait. I thought any casuals out there and anyone that was big, you know, they kind of brought in. So the problem is, Chris, you know, we were talking a little bit about adjustments before.
Yeah.
Like there's absolutely no way Bivol's team and Bivol is going to go in there and go, do you know what, this time out, a bit like what Tyson Fury did with the second Wilder fight, it's going to go, I'm going to plant my feet, educated pressure, and I'm going to stick it on him, because that would completely play into BETERBIEV's hands. And that is not box the fighter, fight the boxer. You know, Bivol is a master boxer. The problem is, and this is where I'm at, and I think you agree, is that in order for Bivol to win, and if he's going to get that decision, because most judges, for me, seem to always go, when it's tight, they always go with the pressure fighter, the one who's trying to force things to happen. And Bivol very much likes to pick his moments to get in and out. Bivol has to do everything he did in the first fight, so his plan A, but he has to do plan A even better. And I think he pretty much emptied the tank. And bearing in mind he's being hit very hard by BETERBIEV and having his tank reduced even more. So the chances of him doing that, the chances of him stopping BETERBIEV by trying to up his volume is not going to happen. And is he able for potentially 12 rounds to do what he did in the first fight, but to do it even better and to do it almost every round? Because he can't afford to lose too many rounds. So I don't think it's going to happen, but I love, you know, I'm a massive fan of Bivol, but I can't make a case for him in this rematch. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, same. So like you say, I just think, like, BETERBIEV, if he goes to the body a bit more, he's going to take more gas out of the tank. So, and if Bivol tries to hold his feet more chance to get knocked out. There's not really much, like you said, there's not really much Bivol can do to try and win. And he thought he won from what he did last time. So it's going to be very, very difficult, I think, for Bivol to win. And for that reason, I'm saying BETERBIEV, he's going to go to the body more. Bivol's going to be trying to do more output and trying to win more rounds. He's going to get sapped to the body. Late stoppage, BETERBIEV. Boom. Knocked out every man in the ring with. That's my prediction. And I'm
going, I'm going to go, I'm sitting on the fence a little bit, but I'm going to go majority or unanimous decision for BETERBIEV. I'm not sure which one. It'll be, it could be close again, or it could be a bit more conclusive for BETERBIEV. Yeah. So I'll go with, I'll stick my neck on the line, and I'll go with a UD for BETERBIEV.
UD. Oh, so you think he's going to win just on points, but a little bit more convincing than last time? It won't be a split.
I think maybe, yeah. I just got a feeling Bivol's got a wonderful mentality, but I just, especially after that, I wonder whether Bivol just might be dispirited. He could get a bit dispirited in the second time out, maybe just a bit. And I think that might just play into BETERBIEV's favour. Look, this is what these channels are all about. We're giving our opinions, our analysis. You know, it's one of them. But the last thing I wanted to say was, if anyone out there, I'm sure you agree, Chris, if you want to kind of learn about boxing, like if you're kind of new to the sport, or, you know, you've been watching football all your life, you're like, do you know what? This is a massive event. I want to see if I can learn something here. Perhaps your girlfriend wants to learn a bit about it. If there was one fight on this card, and they're all great fights, get them to watch this one, because it'll be entertaining, and two, you're watching two masters of their craft. Like it don't really get any better, Chris, does it?
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Like the last fight, the because they're so fucking talented, the both of them, the levels of the fight, yeah, especially when even if you're not, you can see the skill. Like obviously, like you do get some casuals that I hate it when people go, why don't we just run up to each other and just start banging shit out of each other? If they do that, like why don't we just run up and just start letting that? Because if they do that, if someone's running up throwing hooks, as soon as they come towards you, you throw an uppercut, they're on the floor, right on the chick. Like you can't do that.
Chin in the air.
Yeah. Someone runs up, and then someone just hand up here. It like you can't do that. It's boxing. But if you're gonna be serious and just watch it, you learn a lot about boxing, about skills, about feints, about defense, about everything, about styles. Because go get further apart in the styles, even the way they punch. Like BETERBIEV's more like he's like a foreman. Every punch,
Terminator.
Yeah, every punch is hurting you, and it doesn't look like it hurts either. They don't look like they hurt. These little, and they're like Bruce Lee's 1-inch punch. They're like that, aren't they? But he don't throw all his body weight into it. He's like, dish. But it makes for
very strong.
Yeah, but it just makes for fast, hard punches consistently. Not so all the way back, all the way through, but consistently, like a little rock and sock and robot kind of thing. Just little, you know what I mean?
Whereas Bivol's he's just very technical, isn't he? You know, he's very, very kind of slick. You know, I love watching him. Like he's just sort of the perfect boxer, really. Like he's a pound for pound legend for me. Like he's just his movements, just the way he hits, the way he shapes up. You know, his jab. You know, he can do everything. I guess the one thing he doesn't have though, Chris, at light heavyweight, is just that real kind of like added impetus and power in his shot. I think if Bivol had even half of BETERBIEV's power, he'd be the absolute king of that division. But it's the one thing he lacks is just that real power.
Yeah,
he's got everything else but that. You know?
And obviously, he beat Canelo hits hard. He beat Canelo with that style, but obviously, BETERBIEV, he's got the power, more power than Canelo probably, and he's got the longer arms. And like Canelo's is a style a bit like Tyson's, where because he's short, bobbing and weaving, trying to get in. BETERBIEV is more like a Terminator, like you say. He's just going to keep coming at you. And his defense is his straight shots. Like he don't really throw hooks, does he? It's just hard, straight shots constantly, up and down. So
constantly in the punching lanes all the time. And I think the difference is, I think with Canelo and BETERBIEV is that Canelo's power just didn't translate enough right up to light heavyweight. You know, he's just not a natural light heavyweight. He's a super middleweight. But BETERBIEV is a proper big, strong, Anatoly like, you know, that weightlifter, proper strong, proper light heavyweight. And I think that's the difference really with him and Canelo, is that Canelo punches hard, but at super middleweight. And I think, you know, it just didn't translate up enough to get Bivol's respect, because Bivol was quite happy to kind of, you know, to get in there a lot more, where you could tell against BETERBIEV, Bivol was certainly in the second half of the fight, you could tell he was concerned. He did not want to be in them punching lanes for too long. He was in them punching lanes, and then he was on his bike.
That's it. And when the only times he set his feet was when he'd already had a bit of success. So he'd landed a double jab and a right hand, or not landed, but nearly connected, and he could see sort of an opening. But otherwise, woo. It's like I landed one, I'm running. I got the better of that exchange, I'm running. But obviously, swings and roundabouts. You run all night, you get tired. You stand.
Just two elite fighters, Chris, isn't it? The great thing is about this with Turkeys, this might not have happened 10 years ago. Two absolute elite fighters, wafer thin between them in talent. One's got superb power and also good boxing skills. You know, BETERBIEV's a very good boxer as well. You know, and BIVOL, master technician. It's as elite as it gets, and I'm just absolutely, you know, ecstatic that we get to see it again, like barely a year later.
And you can just feel the tension as well. As soon as that first bell goes, like, wow, every round is like, oh my God, what's happening? Who's winning? We don't know. It's like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's it from us. Like and sub, guys. Like and subscribe. Please leave some comments. Boxing Bros UK, we're out.